Dutch IT Channel is vandaag te gast bij Sophos Day 2023 in Fort bij Vechten.
That's quite a bleak picture. 2 defenders on the walls of a giant castle. It's okay, but then what are they defending against? Then you have this absolute onslaught of the enemy. So just imagine, millions of people trying to scale the walls, and you have these 2 little defenders on the top. Combining those 2 provides us the perfect storm, the bleak storm, but that tips into the Sophos' favor because we offer to take that complexity away. That we bolster those defenses, and we know how to respond, and we know how to detect against that onslaught on the offensive side as well.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing that cybercriminals are lazy?
I think it's a good thing that they're lazy because they do fall into patterns, and that helps us often do a better job at defending victims. Even if the criminal manages to make it into your network, if we know that after A is B and then C, and we detect them at A, we can stop them at B because we know what they're going to do next. Well, I think the biggest finding we've had throughout 2023 is the amount of dwell time, or the time an attack takes from the start to the finish, is continually shrinking and putting more and more pressure onto defenders. So we're down to, in ransomware attacks now, only 5 days from the moment you're initially compromised, whether that's the opening of some kind of phishing email, or maybe when a password was stolen, or some kind of vulnerability exploited, until the point at which they're deploying ransomware. And of course, in that 5 days, there's several milestones along the way where bad things are happening as well. So these times are just continually shrinking, and that's putting a lot of pressure on threat hunting teams and security operations centers to determine that they're in the middle of an incident even quicker than they've ever had to before.
Organisaties worstelen ermee om een opvolging te geven aan de honderden meldingen die zij per dag krijgen van security-producten. En door het Sophos MDR komen er meldingen binnen van bijvoorbeeld een gebruiker die ergens op een phishing link klikt en waar een hacker dus gewoon in kan loggen in een Office 365-omgeving. Wij gaan er samen met de klant voor zorgen dat zo'n account wordt gereset en die hacker weer buiten staat.
So for MDR, I would highlight 2 things. One is sort of evidencing our strategy of being flexible and adaptable with third-party integration. So what you're going to see, and what you have seen, is more third-party integrations coming alive within MDR. The newest one, of course, being Veeam integration. So the pioneering vendor in the backup and recovery category, which we're really excited about. So stay tuned for that. That comes live in the early new year. So we're really excited for that. Moving forward, you'll see a lot more of those vendors come into a lot more of those categories in MDR world. Also in MDR, I would highlight the MDR for Microsoft Defender. So a lot of organizations migrating to Defender. We wanted to provide a really good service and an outcome for customers on top of the Defender stack. And so Sophos MDR for Microsoft really embodies a better together story. And then in XDR, we've done a lot of investments. We've put a lot of R&D and product and engineering effort into enhancing the overall analyst experience. So brand new UX and a UI around detections, the detections tab, case management, and we're also now looking into Gen AI use cases. So looking at how do we better lower the adoption barrier within the various capability pillars within XDR. You're going to start to see some really exciting developments within XDR when speaking about large language models and open AI.